and welcome to the K&Co Tech Pod. I'm your host, Shelley Kramer, Principal Analyst here at Kramer&Co. And today we are taking a different approach. And instead of talking directly with vendors, we're going to talk with a customer about something that I think doesn't get enough attention. And that is the value of user-led communities, what they mean to organizations trying to navigate the complex communication landscape that we all have today. And I'm so excited. I'm joined today by a member of the Mitel User Group, Roberto Hanique from Parnassia Groep in the Netherlands. Welcome, Roberto. I'm so glad to see you.
Hi.
You ready to dive right in?
Mm-hmm.
Great. All right, Roberto, well, would you do me a favor? I, of course, know you, but would you do me a favor and share with us a quick introduction, kind of tell us a little bit about your role at Parnassia Groep and what your organization does?
Well, I work as a telecom and networking administrator for the Parnassia Groep. We are one of the biggest hospitals for mental health care in the Netherlands, with over 200 sites nationwide.
Oh, wow.
And on Parnassia, I have a team. I work in a team of 5 persons, and we are the administrators of the whole telephony environment.
So you do not have a small job.
No.
So tell me a little bit, Roberto, what is your connection to the Mitel User Group and how did you get involved?
Well, we chose Mitel as our telephony vendor back in 2010.
Okay.
We didn't know about the existence of the Mitel User Group for a long time until one of my colleagues discovered it back in 2023.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I think it exists much longer than 2023. But after that, we signed up for the membership, and since that year, we have visited all events of the user group, which happens twice a year.
Awesome. That's Roberto, you hit on one of the reasons that I wanted to have this kind of a conversation, because the fact that you were a Mitel customer for all that time, but yet didn't know about the existence of this user community kind of shines a light on the fact that we need to maybe do a better job of educating about that. So thank you very much for being my perfect case study. All right, Roberto, let's dig into, I want to talk a little bit now about the value of user-led communities. So from your perspective as a healthcare organization dealing with what I know are very complex communication needs, why do you think having a customer-driven community matters versus just working directly with the vendor?
Well, when we talk to other customers at the user group, we hear practical examples and use cases of communication challenges that they face, and that we face, and we can share about it. And when we talk to a vendor, we often get solutions offered that are more theoretical,
Right.
without the practical use cases.
Yeah.
That's a big value for the user group, that we can interact with the other Mitel customers.
Yeah. My experience with the user communities has just always been the members of the community are passionate about not only their own success, but the success of the other peers in the group. And there's such an opportunity to learn. As I said, in my experience, people are always honest. They're as honest about their successes as they are about their failures. And I think we actually even learn more when people share sort of what they tried that didn't work or whatever. But I feel like my experience has always been that, the power of community kind of benefits everybody and speeds the path to success for its users. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any, I know it's now been, I think you said you joined in 2022 or 2023, which is a tremendously long period of time. Do you have any examples you'd be willing to share about what being a part of the Mitel User Group might have helped you and your organization solve a problem or make a better decision?
Well, not really directly in solving a problem or making a better decision, but indirectly it does help because at the user group we get informed about the roadmap by Mitel, so we know what subjects they are developing on and what features are coming. And without the user group, uh, we had kind of a black box. We didn't know what they were developing on, so it didn't help directly, but indirectly it sure is a helpful
Yeah,
thing.
helps you plan, what the path ahead might be and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So you're based in the Netherlands. Are there regional differences in how the Mitel User Group operates or what customers need? And is there, is there a global aspect? I mean, Mitel has customers all over the world. Do you find that the global aspect of this mug community adds value?
Yes, it does, but when there are user group events here in the Netherlands, it is pretty local, and we only meet other Dutch Mitel customers
Hmm.
where we can share real world experiences and talk about uh, the things that matter here, like compliance, reliability, and supporting case studies across sites. But what is nice that is behind the local group, there is also a global structure. The tools, the learning resources, the support from Mitel, that all comes from a wider community. So even though we are meeting locally, we still benefit from being part of something bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Here's something else I'm curious about, Roberto. Some vendors might see user groups as potential problem areas, a place where customers come together to complain or to make demands. How would you describe the Mitel user group's relationship with Mitel, the vendor? Is it something that you see as largely collaborative? Is it in any way adversarial? Is there just looking for your honest observations here? What have you seen so far?
No, it is not adversarial at all. In fact, it is very collaborative. The user group isn't about handing together to make complaints or demands, but Mitel itself actually used the user group events to inform their customers and hear feedback and experience of the customers on their products.
Yeah.
So they actually use it to communicate with the customers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that makes sense. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. So let's shift now, Roberto, to what you're actually dealing with on a day-to-day basis. In healthcare, of course, you've got unique compliance requirements, you've got diverse user populations, and you probably got some legacy systems that you're dealing with. What do you see as the big communications and collaboration challenges that you're focused on solving right now?
Well, right now we try to improve the phone reachability of our employees so they can work remotely. And
Okay.
to achieve this, for example, we use the MyCollab app, and we also try to achieve the same at this moment with the Mitel Attended Business Console. We, we we try that our telephonists can use this at home, uh, or that we can hire another company for us to help us support in taking the phones. But then we need to try to make it reachable over the internet.
Yeah. So I think that, you point to this in your answer, but it's safe to say that all of our workplaces have changed dramatically in the last handful of years, right? You've got hybrid work, you've got distributed teams, you've got changing employee expectations, lots of change going on. How have these shifts that have happened across the universe of the workplace impacted your own corporate communication strategy?
Yeah, it definitely did. Over the past years, the shift to hybrid work has completely changed on how we operate, especially in healthcare, where constant communication is very important. Before we relied a lot of desk phones and in-person meetings,
Yeah.
but with hybrid work, we needed something more flexible. And with our Mitel platform, we use the external hot desking feature so teams can answer phone calls on their cell phone instead of the desk phones while they are working remotely. Yeah, and the MicroLab app, as I just mentioned, is
Mhm.
doing the same thing.
Yeah, lots of changes to navigate, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, Roberto, tell me about, when you're evaluating technology partners or solutions, what do you look for? What makes a good partner versus just another vendor?
Well, basically, we just want a stable and a reliable telephony solution. What is important is that we receive good support when we are facing high priority incidents and also help when we want to implement upgrades and or more difficult changes. That is very important in a good partner.
Yeah. I think that um, when I look for a vendor, what I'm looking for personally is, and this may be sort of a Pollyanna-ish worldview, but the kind of partner that I am to my clients is I'm the kind of partner who wakes up in the morning thinking about your business. And whether it's an article that I read that's applicable to something that I know you're trying to do, or some changes in the industry that are happening, or whatever else. And I feel that that's kind of incumbent on me to be that way and to deliver service to my customers in that way. And so when I'm hiring a vendor, whether it's a technology solution or anything else, that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that feeling when I'm meeting with different potential vendor partners. I'm looking for that feeling of is this going to be somebody that's thinking about me and my business beyond the moment that I say yes and sign a contract? How about you?
Yeah, that's totally correct. We also look at that, but not all vendors think like the way you just described.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, why did you select Mitel for your company? What made Mitel the right fit versus other UC providers that are in the market?
Well, we started Mito in 2010, and before that time, we had decentralized and separated phone systems on our hospital sites. And the separated phone systems, they were not in the same telephony network, and they were also not redundant.
Yeah,
And our Mito partner offered us a design for a centralized telephony system and a network which also included redundancy.
yeah,
And also the total implementation costs uh, were lower than other providers because when we had when we choose for Mito, we also had questions other vendors,
yeah.
and we picked Mito for the best solution and also the lowest costs.
Excellent. Excellent. And obviously, 2010 to 15 years later, Mitel is still delivering.
Yeah, yeah, they do. We already had several upgrades over the past years, and they are still developing.
Yeah,
They're still supporting. So
yeah.
yeah, they certainly deliver.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. So, Roberta, can you possibly give me an example where Mitel might have helped you overcome a real business challenge, not just a technology problem, but maybe something that impacted your operations or your customers? And maybe you don't have an example, but if you do, I'd love for you to share that.
Yeah, I do, because before we used Mitel on the older system, uh, we had desk phones
Yeah.
that had fixed numbers. So it means that when our employees are working at different sites, they could never use the same phone number because all those phones had a different number,
Yeah.
and it made it difficult to reach them. And when we started to use Mitel, they have a feature called hot desking, where our employees can log in with their own phone number on each phone, no matter where they are, on which site they were working on, and that made our employees more flexible and efficient because they didn't have to keep track of multiple lines or rely on call forwarding and things like that.
Yeah, such an easy thing, and
Yeah,
that too.
it is a basic feature of Mitel,
Yeah,
but for us it made a big change in
yeah,
how it was before.
yeah. No, I mean you're right. It is a basic, simple thing, and once you start using something like that, and you go, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we discovered this is possible because this makes it so much easier for everybody."
Yeah,
I
sure.
like those
Sure.
moments. I like that. So one thing I'm interested in is the feedback loop. How do you see Mitel responding to customer feedback, either through the Mitel user group or other channels? Do they listen to your feedback? Do they act upon it? How does that process work?
Yeah, they do because at the user group you can interact with Mitel representative, and you can also give feedback there, and they use the feedback. At least they take it into consideration for possible future releases.
Yeah,
And another platform where you can vent your feedback and request is the Mitel user voice. It is an online tool
yeah.
where you can submit your ideas and requests. And so I really have the idea they try to listen to your feedback.
Yeah, that's great. I feel like that's where innovation comes from, really. When as a vendor, and I don't care what kind of a vendor it is, but those end user customers, they're out there using the product, using the technology, whatever it is, all day, every day. And if anybody knows what would make things better, it's them. And so to me, the value of that feedback is tremendous. And I'm working with a vendor who takes that feedback and uses it to further develop, to spur innovation, to solve problems they weren't thinking about. That's really attractive to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is very attractive.
Yeah, yeah. So we might have touched on some of this already, but from a customer's perspective, Roberto, what do you value the most about having that direct connection with Mitel and its partner ecosystem through the Mitel user group?
Well, the roadmap that they present at every user group is I value a lot, and also the experience to exchange about how other customers use the Mito system, and that we can discuss challenges that comes with that with both Mito representative and other Mito customers.
Hmm. Yeah,
So kind of the networking between the customers.
yeah. I mean, you just learn so much, I think, through that networking and interacting with other people. And so I'm not surprised by that answer.
Yeah. Before that, we didn't have that. Before
Yeah.
we joined the user group, because then we were simply on our own together with the partner, and that was it.
Yeah. Well, it's a perfect way to highlight the value of the mug, the Mitel user group. So let's talk for a minute, if we can, Roberto, about hybrid UC. We hear a lot today about hybrid UC and about Mitel's, work kind of positioning themselves as a leader in that space. Does that resonate with what you're actually experiencing? Is hybrid UC just a buzzword, bingo, or is there something substantive there based on your experiences?
Well, when it comes to hybrid UC, it's about having unified communication platforms that let you work seamlessly both across cloud-based and on-premise systems.
Right.
But at the moment, we at the Parnassia Group, we are still primarily using uh, the on-premise system.
Right.
We didn't make the transition to the cloud yet for our telephony solution, at least.
Yeah.
But with Mitel's ongoing development on their cloud solutions, I expect that this well that this will change in the long term.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that to me is so important when you're making it. To me anyway, when I'm making a decision about a technology investment, working with a vendor who doesn't require me to completely change the way I do things, as in move from legacy and go completely all cloud and things like that, meeting me where I am is really important, and being with me for that journey. And, like you said, yes, you're sure at some point in time you will transition
Yeah,
to the
at this
cloud,
moment,
but you're not ready to do that yet. And
at
that's
this
okay.
moment we don't have a plan to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But well, in some years, I think that this plan will come because the technology evolves.
Absolutely. Quicker than we realize, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
So, Roberto, looking ahead, what is one thing you would like for Mitel to either keep doing or maybe start doing as your organization continues to evolve on your transformation journey?
Well, I actually have two things.
Okay.
We hope that Mitel will keep improve on ways to make remote working as smoothly as possible, with as much features as you would have also on the desk phone. Like we use the uh, ACD system, and we also would like to use it on your cell phone with an app.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we would like to have more performance reports on our teams. Of course, at this moment, they already have the Mito solution. They already have reports uh, when with the teams that works with the ACD feature. But we also would like to keep track on the performance of our telephonists that work with the My Voice Business Console software. And at this moment, it's difficult to report on that. But I would really like if they could keep this into their development or try to develop something for that.
I love it. Thank you for your candor there. And I can promise you, Mitel will be listening.
Really?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
Good. Well, if they hear me, I
I'm
hope.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. So, Roberto, if someone is on the fence, whether they're a customer considering Mitel User Group membership or a partner thinking about engaging more closely with the community, what's your advice to them?
Well, I would say to them, do it. Join the user group. The value comes from being part of the community that truly understands your challenges. For customers, especially these that working in complex environments like I do in the healthcare, the user group offers a chance to engage with other users that face similar issues. We can learn directly from other customers, share solutions that have worked, and tap into the collective knowledge of people that are using the Mito technology day in and day out.
Yeah.
And for the partners, I would say the user group is a chance to connect with end users, hear about their pain points, and gain direct feedback that can help to shape future solutions. Being engaged with the Mito user group gives you the opportunity to build a stronger relationship with your customers and understand how they are using the products in the real world. So for both customers and partners, I would say, it's valuable and join.
Yeah, I love it. That's a wonderful thumbs up for the mug community. I love it. All right, Roberto, as we wrap this episode, I want to ask you in one word or maybe just a few words, how would you describe your experience with Mug and with Mitel as a partner?
Well, if I have to say one word, I would say it's valuable. That is the word that I would pick.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, what's clear from this conversation is that user-led communities like the Mitel User Group serve a critical function that goes beyond just vendor relationships. They create peer networks where customers can learn from and with others' successes and failures. They can influence product direction. They can ultimately help make better decisions for their organizations. And I think what's really cool is that, and certainly what's clear as a result of our conversation here, Roberto, is that the real power is not just the technology. It's in the ecosystem of customers and partners and vendor support and everyone working together. And so for organizations who are trying to navigate the complexity of hybrid UC communications and hybrid UC environments, whether you're in healthcare like your company, Roberto, or in manufacturing, financial services, or otherwise, having that community and the partnership approach can really make all the difference. So thank you so much to Roberto Hanique from Parnassia Groep, Netherlands, for sharing your insights today. And thanks to our audience for joining us and listening. And we will see you here next time on the K&Co Tech Podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You were wonderful, Roberto. Thanks again.